Hello everyone, welcome back to Analytical Guy. In this video, we will talk about Python in Microsoft Excel. So if you are a hardcore Excel user and you would like to enhance your capabilities of doing data analysis or doing machine learning capabilities, then it is really important for us to use Python in Microsoft Excel. So this is the feature that Excel rolled out in August 2023, and this is how you can do all kind of analysis. So if you want to do regression analysis, if you want to do any kind of machine learning capability, then you can use Python in Excel. You don't have to go to any IDE such as Jupyter or Anaconda to implement your Python code. So here you can do with your data set. So if you have a data set and you would like to do any kind of analysis, Python is there for you in Microsoft Excel. So in this video, I'll explain you how to use that. So first of all, license is required. So for that, you need Microsoft 365 subscription for your Python to work in Excel, right? So if you don't have this subscription, you can't use Python in Excel. And also, this is not there in MacBooks. So if you are using Excel in Mac, Python is not there. So if you see, these are the four options. So either you have 365 personal or family. This is for individual or family use. You can have this and use Python, or you can have 365 business standard, business premium, or apps for businesses, or you can have 365 E3 or E5, that is for enterprise users. And you can also have 365 education A3 or A5. So if you are working or like studying somewhere and you have that 365 education license, still you can use Python in Excel. So we will explain so many things. So first of all, I have added some basic operations. Then we will do some time analysis. We will use some queries. Then we'll go for advanced analysis. And then we'll explain some common errors which are there using Python in Excel. So it will be very interesting. Please watch till the end. I'll show you the bonus video as well for Python in Excel. So let's get started. Alright, so let's try to understand the data and then create our first data frame. So whenever you're working on Python, you always create data frames so that you can refer those data frames for your data analysis, right? So I have 6 columns in my data set. So invoice date, product name, product category, sales channel, quantity, and sales. And if you scroll it down, you will see so many records for this particular data, right? Now I want to do some analysis, so I have to convert this data set into data frame. So what I'll do is I'll just go here. This is my first question, create a data frame df, right? So what I'll do is equal to py and press tab. So once you do p equal to py and tab, this will create your Python formula. So you can see this green background with py written. So whatever you write here, this will be your Python code, right? So here it should be equal to my data. So I'll just select everything here. So you can see the formula changed. Excel, it is referring to sales data. This is my table which has already been named for this particular data. Header is equal to true. And now if you want to enter this, if you want to commit this code, you will use control plus enter. So once you press control plus enter, and if you see that cell again, I'll scroll it up, and you can see here, you will see Python data frame has been created. And if you hover, you will see this is my data frame, right? So you will see this is my records which is already coming in: invoice date, product name, product category, sales channel, quantity, and sales, right? So right now you can just ignore the diagnostics and see this is how the data frame is created. And now if you want to define this data frames, you can write here df equal to this and press control enter again. So whenever you want to refer to a data frame, you can refer by df, right? So it takes time to execute. Now it is data frame, right? So now if you see, there are two things. So Python output is output in the form of Python object or Excel value. Currently, this is my Python object. So this is showing me data frame, right? So if you want to see the values, I can click on Excel value and it will show me all the columns and records which are referring to this particular data set. But right now, if I do Excel value, then it will show me the spell error because it should come over here as well, right? So this is all occupied already with text and some things, right? So if I do that, so again, if I go here, click on Excel value, it will show me spell error, right? If there was no data here, it would have given me the complete data set over here, right? So currently we don't need that. I can go back to Python object and that's all good. Now my second step is to check for null values. So whenever you work on Python data analysis, so you always check for null values, check for data types of all the columns and duplicate rows and all stuff. So we'll do that first basic check. So first of all, to check for null values, we'll go again py and press tab. This is very important to understand. Equal to py and press tab. Whatever you write here will be your Python code. To check for null values, so you will say df dot is null. So this is my formula in my Python. So it's already defined in the library dot sum. So I have to check all the nulls and sum it, right? So this will give me total nulls in each column. Control enter. So this is given me the Python says this is my object. So from here I can toggle to Excel value. And once this runs, you will see all the columns with my total nulls. So you'll see all these columns: invoice date, product name, category, channel, quantity, sales, everything is zeros. That means in all these records, there is no null value, right? For example, I would say it's null. Let's delete that. So there is one null here in sales channel, right? So you can see in sales channel is showing me one null, right? So this is all dynamic and this is super amazing. So now let's try to check for duplicate rows. So if there is any duplicate row, it will show me that. For that, I'll write again equal to py, press tab. Now I'll write my Python code, that is data frame, that is my df dot. Now I'll write a formula that is duplicated. This is my function defined in the Python library, duplicated. And then if there is any duplicated, that is any, and then press Control Enter. So it will give me true or false. So if it is true, that means there are duplicates. If there is false, that means there is no duplicate rows. So currently this is false. That's amazing. We don't need to work anything further. If it was true, then we would have looked for duplicate rows here and then deleted them if needed. Now let's try to get basic summary statistics like count, mean, minimum, maximum, 25 percentile, 50 percentile, all those things. Like for example, we work on box plot, right? So here for getting the summary statistics, so what we can do is we can easily work with describe function. So if you have already worked on Python, so that's one of the most easiest way, I would say. Now, if you would like to get the basic summary statistics for this particular data, we can easily work on this using the Python code again. So we'll say equal to py, press tab, and then df dot describe. So describe is the function defined in the Python libraries, and then I can Control Enter, and this will give me all the statistics for the numeric columns. Mostly, specifically, it will be invoice date, quantity, and sales. So now data frame has been created. So I'll go for Excel value, and it will spell, or it will go for all those data. So now you can see here I have invoice date, quantity, sales. Total count is 218. That means there are 218 records. The mean for this invoice date is this, doesn't matter, but quantity is 3.7, 60.98 is the sales mean. Minimum for sales is 15, maximum is 105, standard deviation is 27.7. So this is how you can get the basic summary statistics. If you have more numeric columns, you can have more rows under records for that. Now, if you want to get the statistics for a particular column, instead of getting the statistics for all the columns, you can specify that particular column. So that is equal to py, as always. Then we will write the Python code here. That is df, that is data frame defined as df dot, then the name of the column. So that is my product name, and dot describe. So once you write this, Control Enter, and this will give me data frame series, and then from series I can change it to the Excel value. So currently it is taking some time. As you can see here, you're using standard Python and Excel calculation speed. So if you have advanced premium version, you can go for the best speed. So computational speed here is low for me. That's why it's taking time. So if you click here, Excel value, it will give me all the statistics for product name. So I can see product name count is 218, uniques are 10, top is beard oil, frequency is 22. So highest number of occurring for beard oil is 22. Now, if you see, there is a catch. So whenever you mention the column name here, it is case sensitive. You can see here, if I write PS small and press enter, it will give me error, right? So whenever you're mentioning a particular column name, so it's saying that it has no attribute with product name, right? So what you have to do here is, whatever is the exact name of the column, you have to mention that here. So it is case sensitive, right? So now coming to the next part, checking for data types. So it is quite easy. So what you'll do is, again, equal to py, press tab. Now you have to just write data frame name dot d types, and then press enter. This is not a function, so you don't have to put like brackets, right? Control and enter. So once this is done, this will give me the series, and then I can change it to values. And for this, I'll get the data type for each column. So there are 6 columns. So data types for invoice date, product name, all those. So for example, invoice date, I have data type as date time. Product name, category, and sales channel is object. Quantity and sales are integer, right? So this is how you can check the data types. Now let's try to list all the product names. So I have 10 product names from here. So I have to get the distinct, or you can say unique product names. So how you can find that? So again, you'll use equal to py, press tab. So now you're entering the Python code. Again, referring to df dot. Now you have to mention all those product names, right? So what I'll do is dot product name. So this is my column, right? Dot. So I think we have unique. We can check that. Otherwise, we'll look for other options. Yeah. So what it's showing is it is giving me the array. So array is converted into Excel value, and then we will get all the list for the products. So you can see here, I have all the distinct product names, that is beard oil, shaving cream, hair gel. So total number of products are 10, right? So I can list that way. Now, if you want to get the total quantity sold, will be the sum of this. So if I sum this from Excel formula and like this, so it should be 807 and sales should be 13295. Let's see how it goes with Python code. So equal to py, I'll say data frame dot column name dot sum. So sum is the function that we will use for calculating the total sum for any column. Same with this, equal to py, then data frame dot column name is sales dot sum. Yeah, so total quantity sold is 807, 807, that's fine. Total sales is 13295, 13295. So that's all good. So all you have to do is the data frame name dot column name dot sum, right? Similarly, if you want to calculate the average sales, so instead of sum, you will just write, instead of sum, you will write mean. To calculate average, you'll write mean function. So it will give me the mean will be somewhere around 60.98, right? If you want to change it, round it to like 2 decimals, so you can use your Excel inbuilt, or here you can write round this to 2 and press enter again. So it will give me up to 2 decimal points, 60.99, right? So this is how you can calculate the values. Now, if you want to do the analysis like category wise sales, so you have 6 or 7 different categories, and for each category, what is my total sales? So we can use group by formula in this. So you'll write equal to py, and now I'll write the Python code, which is data frame name, that is df dot. Now I'll say group by, and in group by, I'll mention the column name, that is my product category, right? Now dot. Now I want to group this on the basis of sales, and then I want to sum it, right? And then press enter. So this will give me Python series, and I can change it to Excel value. So this should show me all the categories: aftercare, body care, grooming, hair care, shaving, skincare, all these product categories with total sales. So I can categorize all those sales. This is like a pivot, right? So whenever you create this table and go to pivot table, you can easily do group by, right? So that's the same functionality over here. All right, so this is what it is for basic operations. Now let's try to understand time analysis. Here we will also work on 4 to 5 different problem statements for the same data set. Our first analysis in time analysis would be month-wise sales. So if you want to understand the data on the basis of month, for example, we have invoice date that is on a daily basis or alternate days, or you have multiple transactions in short for each month, right? So how you can group by month and then get the sales out of it. For example, if you unselect everything, select January and sort this, and then select everything here. So my total sales here, it is coming out to be 1860, right? This is for my January, right? I want this for each month, and this should be dynamic. Whenever there is a new data, it should always change, pop up, and I should get that. How can I do that? So first of all, we will use pd.grouper. That is a function in Python library. It is used to create the condition for grouping by monthly intervals, right? So we will use this formula, and then I'll explain you. So again, is equal to py, and then press tab. This will give me the Python formula. You can write the Python code here. Again, I'll mention df, that is my data frame dot. Now I'll do group by. So I want to group by month, right? So I'll just do group by. Here, to group by month frequency, I'll use pd dot grouper, and then my key here would be the column name, that is invoice date, and my frequency is monthly. So we can mention monthly, weekly, quarterly, all those things, right? So I'll just close this bracket and this as well, and then this should be on the basis of sales and submit, right? So everything is same as we did previously. Only difference is if we have to do group by month or something, when there is dates mentioned, we can do grouper, and key is invoice date, that is my column name, and then frequency is month. Press enter, and then it should give me the series, and then I can change it to the Excel values. So I'll just go here, click on Excel values, and here it is. For each month I'm getting the sales. You can see for January it is 1860. This is what we calculated. Similarly for February 1725, March is 1930, and so on and so forth for each month, right? Similarly, I can get this for quarter wise sales. So equal to py, then data frame dot group by, and then pd dot grouper, and then key here would be again invoice date, and frequency here would be quarter, and then bracket closed, and then I want this on the base of sales and submit. Press enter. This will give me series. I'll change it to Excel value, and once this is calculated, I should get 4 records: quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. For each quarter I can get these sales, right? If you see quarter 1, that is for 3 months, this is my total value, that is equal to 5515, that is equal to this, and so on and so forth, right? So this is how you can calculate month-wise sales, quarter-wise sales. You can do week-wise sales as well. So I'll just copy this formula, and here instead of Q, I'll just mention W, that is for week-wise sales, and then press enter. So once this is computed, we'll get these invoice dates for each week. I'm getting these sales, right? So week 1 is this, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, week 7, 8, week 8, right? So if I unfilter this and press OK, so this will give me for all the weeks, right? Now, very important part. So now we have understood how to calculate month-wise sales, quarter-wise sales, week-wise sales. This is how we can do for every frequency, right? You just need to change M to that particular frequency code, right? Now, very important part is if you want to create a line chart for month-wise sales or for anything else, how can you work on creating the charts? So first of all, I want to have the month-wise sales. So this is my month-wise sales, right? So here I can define this as, let's say, monthly sales equal to control enter, right? So I have defined already monthly sales is my this value, right? Now I will refer this. I'll refer this to create my chart. So what I'll do is equal to py. Now my monthly sales dot. So I have already created this. Now I have to create a plot on this particular formula. So I'll say plot, and my X value would be invoice date. My y-axis would be my sales, right? And then my kind, what kind of shape you want. So that is my line, right? And press enter, control enter instead. Once you do that, you'll get a small icon here. That is image. You can change it to value. You can see a very small icon is here. So what you'll do is select a particular area where you want this line to be shown, right? And then click on merge and center. This is magical. You will see here, line chart is already created for my month-wise sales, right? So you can see here for January, it is somewhere around 1800, above 1800, that is 1860. Then in February, I have somewhere around 1700, that is 1725. Then I have 1930. Then it was drastical drop in April, that is 660. Then somewhere around 900. Then it was almost same, and then got decreased in January, right? So this is my line chart for month-wise sales. This is outstanding. Similarly, if you want this for quantity, right? So if you want this for quantity, what I can do is I can easily create that. So currently this was my monthly sales for sales, right? So if I change it to quantity, I'll just copy this and equal to py, press tab, and then enter here. And I'll say here monthly quantity equal to here as quantity. Now here I'll write, I can expand this. Here I'll write monthly quantity dot plot. Now again I'll mention that plot again. X is equal to invoice date, Y is equal to my quantity column, right? And then again my kind would be line in double quotes, and then bracket close, and then press Control Enter. So once you do that, again you will get the image, and then that would be the object. So you have to change it to the Excel value. So go here, click on Excel value, and this will give me that small image. So you will extend that like that, and then merge and center. So this is how you will get that. And currently I can see this is my quantity, right? So you will see it is starting from somewhere around 115, then going down. So we'll see similar pattern for sales as well as quantity. I can see there is a correlation. Of course, I mean, if there is a less quantity, sales is less, high quantity, high sales, because the pricing is almost same or exactly same for each of the product because it's not mentioned in the data, right? So if the quantity is high, sales is definitely high, and so on and so forth. So this is how you can calculate this data. And now important aspect is working on queries. So this is what we will do in the next slide. Using query in Python is quite important, and it is quite famous. I mean, if you want to do some kind of transactional analysis, like if you want to see a conditional data, you want to just have a slicing of the data. For example, if you want to have the data for hair care product category only, you can use query. If you want to, let's say that, hey, whenever my quantity is less than 10 and my sales channel is B2B, give me all those records. You can use query. There is another way, like for example, if you want to say all the transactions which happened below or before July 2024, give me all those transactions. So it will give that. So it's like slicing the database. So if you have millions of records, you're slicing it to some fewer records which you really want, right? So you can use the query. So here we will do this particular problem, and this will give you an idea of how you can use the queries for this particular problem. So question here is, give me all transactions with sales less than 100, and the product should contain wash text, right? So this product name, it should have wash as a text in its name, right? So what I'll do is here, so it will be again equal to py, press tab. So again, now I'm entering the Python code. Here, my data frame is df dot, I'll mention the query. So we are doing query, right? So now in this, I'll mention the conditions. So my first condition would be sales less than 100, right? Second condition, and my second condition is product name dot str. So for string, I'll mention dot str. It should contain, so dot contains, it should contain my text like wash. So it will be in double quotes, wash, and then bracket close, right? So this is my second condition. My two conditions are done. So quotes closed and then bracket closed, and then Control Enter. So once I do this, I'll get all the transactions whenever my sales is less than 100 and it contains wash in the product column. So I'll just change it to the Excel value. And here you go. You will see all those invoice dates, product names, product category, sales channel, quantity, and sales. So you'll see here, everything should be less than 100. All the product names should have wash in it, right? And you can easily change it over here. So if you want to say that it should be less than, let's say not 100, it should be less than 200. So you can easily change it here, and then again Control Enter, and you will get the values for all those conditions mentioned, right? So you can see here there are more records. You will see face wash, body wash, all those things are also coming here for 90 and 100. All right, so this is how you can use query in your Python. All right, so in advanced section, we will work on some literally advanced queries. So not just working on basic operations that we did in Python. So first of all, I'll start with literally basic of advanced. That is, if we have to calculate top 3 products of all the products we have in this particular data. So first of all, I'll list all the products with their sales. So that we have already done. So equal to py. Then I'll enter the Python code that is equal to df, that is my data frame dot group by. I'll group this by my product name, right? Dot, I'll do this on the base of sales dot sum, right? So this will give me the sum of all the products for each product, like it is grouped by all the products. So there are total 10 products. So if I do this Excel value, so it will give me all those 10 product names with their sales, right? So this is what we have already done. So now I want to change it to top 3. So what I'll do is I'll just add one more function, that is n largest, and then in bracket I'll mention 3 and then press enter. And this will give me just 3 products which are topmost. First is body wash, then I have face wash, then I have face moisturizer with these sales, right? Also, when your columns have space, for example, product category is product category with space here, right? So you can't use like this. You can just say here, for example, I have to mention product category. So you can't do this. So when you have spaces in your column names, so what you can do is, instead of writing this, you can use the square brackets, and then in quotes you'll write product category, bracket closed, like this. This is how you can do. Otherwise, for example, here we want to have sales, so we can just do this. So this is also correct, right? We just mentioned previously without square brackets, but now if you use square brackets like this will also work, right? So this is a workaround. I mean, if you have column spaces, so you can use these square brackets and it will totally work. All right, so here you don't have to have dot, right? So this is showing me syntax error, right? So whenever you're doing group by a particular column, and then you have to mention like this without dot. Dot means that you are adding something to it, right? So you can close this, and then this is all working. All right. So now coming to the 19th question, that is create a plot to determine the monthly sales growth percentage. So previously, if you see in the time analysis, we did the plot for month-wise sales, month-wise quantity, right? But now we want the percentage growth. So how can you do that? So first of all, I'll just write py and then press enter with tab. Here, this is my formula bar. Here, first of all, I'll mention what is my monthly sales. So that is already there, right? So I don't need to write that again. I just have to write my growth sales, which is equal to my monthly sales dot percentage change, that is PCT underscore change. Then whenever there is any null, so you have to use fill null with 0, right? And then you have to multiply this by 100. So you are changing it to percentage. So convert this into percentage, right? And then this is like how you can mention the comments with the asterisk, as with the compound sign. So this will not work right now. What I'll do is, here my plot would be growth sales dot plot. Now my x-axis should be my invoice date, y-axis should be equal to my sales growth, percentage, right? And my kind is again my line. And now if you press enter, it should give me the image. And then you can change this image to Excel value. So this is again a smaller one. You can expand this and click on merge and center. So you can see this is my growth percentage for that monthly. So what changed here? If you see here, we already worked on growth sales, right? Sorry, monthly sales. We already created this monthly sales formula. So whenever you have to create a growth sales on a monthly sales, you will write percentage change. So this is a function that will give this already like calculates the growth from the previous month. And then you are just filling all the nulls with zeros and then multiplying by 100 to convert it into percentages, right? And then once this growth sales is done, so you will just plot it. So growth sales dot plot, x-axis should be my invoice date, and then y-axis sales growth percentage, kind is line, right? And this is how you will create the growth percentage line. And now here, if you want to tally how this percentage is changing, you can easily just do the calculations on a monthly basis, and you can see the percentage change. So for example, from January to February, there is a degrowth. So from 0 to minus 7 or 10%, right? If I go back here in time analysis, January it was 1860. So if I just copy this and go to advanced, paste it over here, right? And I do the calculations from here, it is equal to my this minus this. So this is my minus 7%. So if you see in February, you can see the degrowth of 7%, that is minus 7. Then there is a growth and it is somewhere around 12%. I can see here. Then in the month of April, from 12%, it went to minus 66%. You can see here, right? And then from April to May, there is 36% growth. From here to here, I can see 36% reached 36%. Then again, it went back to 1%, and then it is stagnant for somewhere around 1, minus 1%. And then in month of December, it went from minus 1 to minus 12%. I can see here, right? So this is how you can tally your data. All right, so now you have worked and completed the 19th part. Let's try to drill down further. So now here you can see the 20th question is, which product category has the highest average sales per transaction? Again, I'll just work on group by. So here it will be equal to py and then press tab. Now I'll mention my Python code, that is df.group by, and here it will be on the basis of product category. And I want to do this on sales, then mean, because this is average, right? So this is straightforward. It's similar to what we did last time. So I'm getting the series. I'll change it to Excel values. So this will give me for each product the average sales. Right now, I want to get the highest average sales per transaction. So copy this, equal to py, press tab, paste. Now I have to get the highest. So I have 6 product categories. Out of this, I want to get the highest. So I'll just mention it with the formula idx max. So I'll just mention .idx max. So this method returns the index or the label of the first occurrence of the maximum value in the series. Then bracket close and press Ctrl Enter. So this will give me the highest. Highest is for body care 100, right? So this is my highest. So this will give me body care. Which product category has the highest average sales per transaction? Answer is body care. So what I did, first of all, I did group by on the basis of product category, on the basis of sales, and took the mean, that is average. Now I have listed all the product categories with their averages. Out of them, I want to get the maximum, right? So I'll just mention .idx max. This will give me the product category with the maximum average sales. All right, so this is done. 21st, is there a correlation between quantity sold and sales? Of course there is, because this is my sales data. If quantity is high, sales will be higher. But can we prove that? Here again, I'll just do equal to py, press tab. Now data frame name df, that is dot quantity. So I want to compare this on the basis of quantity versus sales. So I'll just say quantity. Then I'll use the correlation function, that is CORR, and in bracket I'll mention data frame sales, right? So here I'm comparing quantity versus sales. Control Enter. This will give me a particular value which shows there is a correlation or not. This will give me 0.935. That means there is a 93% correlation. So if quantity is increasing, definitely there is a linear growth in sales as well. Now coming to my 22nd question, what is the contribution of each sales channel to total sales? So I want to calculate like this. I have D2C, I have B2B. So I have these two channels, right? For each channel, what is my contribution? Let's say it may be 30% here, then 70% is B2B. So what is that? How can you calculate that? So for that, again, I'll just use py, then press tab. Now I'll enter my Python code, that is dataframe.groupby. I want to group this on the basis of sales channel, right? So I just group by on the basis of sales channel, bracket close. Now I want to do it on sales and sum it up. Now this will give me the total sales for a particular channel. Now I want to divide this with my total sales, right? So this will give me that particular value. Like press enter. And then if I go for Excel value, let's see what it shows. So you can see sales channel sales, I can see B2B is 0.46, D2C is 0.53. I can multiply this by 100. and this will give me 46.85, 53.14. Again, I can round it up to two decimal places. Press enter. So this will give me the exact 46.86 and 53.14. Right? Alright, so coming to the 23rd question, how do sales vary by day of the week? So if you want to calculate the total sales for each day, so I want to have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and sales for each month, each day, right? How can you do that? So first of all, again, I'll enter PY, press tab, go into the formula. Now, first of all, I have to mention day order. So my day order is first Monday, right? Then I have Tuesday, then I have Wednesday, then I have Thursday, then I have Friday, then I have Saturday, then I have Sunday, right? So I have created this day order list, right? So I have Monday until Sunday. Now I want to create a data frame for, I have to create a new column, DOW, that is day of week. So I'll just mention data frame name, then I'll mention the name of the name of the column which I want to create new one. So that is data frame name, and then column name, which is equal to data frames dot invoice date dot dt dot day underscore name. So what this will do is it will extract the day from invoice date. So what it is doing is, from invoice date, using this formula dt.day name, it is extracting the day and it is saving in the column name DOW, right? So it hypothetically, virtually, it is creating a new column here, DOW, and for example 3rd of January is Friday, so it will write Friday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like this as a new column. Now I'll do group by on this column now, right? So what I'll do is data frame, my newly created column, is equal to PD, that is pandas dot categorical. So what I'm doing is I'm changing it to categories, and categories would be day order, which we created above, right? So here I'll mention again DOW, and then categorical categories would be equal to my day order, right? And we can say ordered is equal to true. Right now I want to do group by on this data frame, group by on date of week dot sales dot sum, right? Let's see what it shows, then we will update this. First of all, name error, that categories is not defined. Something is wrong. PD.categorical df dow, then categories is equal to, oh, so it's showing me double equal to, which is wrong. Press enter again. That was a silly error because I gave two double equal, so that's not correct. Yeah, so now it is giving me Python series. I can change it to Excel value. So now it is giving me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and all those values, right? Generally, when you feel it is not sorted, so what you can do is you can also add, oopsies, what just happened? So I have day order, then I have date of week as created like this. Categorical is fine. Group by sales sum. I was saying here, if it is not coming correctly, I can just do sort underscore index. So this will sort on the basis of that index. All right. So this is how you can create a sales comparison for each day of the week. So this Monday is giving me 1980. I can see the highest is for Monday, then second highest is for Sunday, and so on and so forth. All right, so now let's get back to our second last question of this video, that is, what percentage of total sales come from top 3 products? It is quite interesting, right? So if you want to get the top 3 sales, how can you do that? So first of all, if you have total sales, right, and then you have top 3 sales, once you have these two formulas, then you can do top 3 sales divided by total sales, and that's your answer, right? So this is what we will do using Python. Is equal to py, press tab. Now we are entering the Python code. Now here we'll define top 3 sales as well as total sales. So top 3 sales is equal to data frame.groupby, and this has already been done, but let's do it again. So that is product name on sales dot sum dot n largest, and we will say 3, and again we will do sum of n largest, right? This will give me top 3 sales. Now total sales df dot sales dot sum, right? So this is my total sales. Output should be my top 3 sales divided by total sales into 100. Press enter. So this will give me one value, that is 44.45, which is equal to my total percentage sales. So it is somewhere around 44% that is coming out of top 3 products, right? So this is how you can calculate your top 3. If it was top 5 products, it is quite straightforward. So you will say top 5 sales, and largest would be top 5, and you will change that way, right? This is my last question for this particular video. What are the average sales per channel per month? So I want for each month, let's say January, B2B, then January, then D2C. So my sales is, let's say 100. For this it's 50. For February, B2B, then February, D2C, and then what is my sales here, what is my sales here. So this is how you will have like 2 records for each month. So for January it is B2B D2C, then February B2B D2C, similarly March B2B D2C. So this is how you want to have the data. How can you do that using Python? So again, equal to py, press tab, and now you will enter data frame on the base of group by. Group by is quite important here, right? So this is what we are doing, group by dot grouper, as we did for the monthly grouping, right? Here my key would be equal to invoice, right? So my invoice date is my key. Then I would say frequency is month, and then bracket closed. And now here I want to do grouping on the base of sales channel as well. So I can add sales channel. So if you want to do grouping on the basis of 3 columns, for example, you can add one more here, right? So n number of groupings can be done. So all right, so here one thing is there, once you do the group by, you have to add this in the list, right? Because there are 2 values. So one is this, second is this. So you will have this as a list. Now you want to add this grouping on the basis of sales, and this is the average sales, not sum. So you will use mean, right? And bracket closed. Let's see what it shows. It shows me as a series. You'll change it to Excel value, and it should show me the data for all those records. So for January, B2B, D2C, these values, for February, for March, April, so on and so forth, right? And I can change again to the round bracket, and let's say up to 2 decimals places, and bracket closed. So as you can see here, we want it like this. We have this. So for January, for B2B, we have 71, for D2C, 51, so on and so forth. Similarly, if you want to create this as a chart, line chart, so you can have 2 lines. One is for B2B, one is for D2C, and you can have this on a monthly basis. So this is how important, or you can say powerful, Python is in Excel. So if you have already worked on Python, you will understand it even more and make use of it. It is quite useful in Excel. And these are some of the errors which you will face while you're working on Python in Excel. First is blocked, then busy, calc, connect, Python errors. So for example, blocked, this comes in Python when Python in Excel is not enabled. So Python in Excel must be enabled in workbook for Python formulas to calculate. If you see blocked error, ensure that you have access to Microsoft 365 connected services. Busy error indicates that Python calculations are running in Microsoft Cloud. If busy error displays for longer than 60 seconds, try resetting the Python runtime. From the Formulas tab in Python group, select Reset Runtime or use keyboard shortcut Control plus Alt plus Shift plus F9. So if I do it now, Control plus Alt plus Shift plus F9. So this will reset. Right now it is calc. Python in Excel calculations can process up to 100 MB of data at a time. Attempting to run a calculation with more than 100 MB of data returns a calc error. So this is calculation error when you're trying to work on a larger data. So try to run on a smaller data set if you're just practicing. Connect error, try refreshing the connection with Microsoft Cloud by resetting the Python runtime. So same as we did here. And then Python error, it likely occurs when there is a syntax error. Diagnostics task panel, when we saw that in the right hand side, right? So it opens and it shows the exact Python error, and you can check the diagnostics, you can see the error, and you can troubleshoot that. So these are the basic common errors that you would face while working on Python in Microsoft Excel. So I hope this was really helpful, and if you're working on Python, I would say really work on Excel and try to understand the basics first, and then I'll create a regression video as well, working on more advanced machine learning algorithms on Excel. That will be super amazing. I've already created, but I'll publish that in few days. That will help you understand how you can work on machine learning algorithms on Excel itself. You don't have to go to any other IDE like VS Code or Jupyter Notebook or anywhere else. Just work on Excel and you would be so happy to work on it, because you can mix Excel formulas with Python formulas, and it is amazing combination. I hope you loved this video. If you really like these videos, please do subscribe, share with your friends, like this video so that I get motivation to create more such videos. Thanks a lot for watching this video.